Hello, Assalamualaikum and good evening. My name is Dayang Balqis binti Ramzi from ALG 2401A. So today I'm going to be presenting my oral presentation topics which is conditionals. So for the introduction is what is conditional? Conditional is a sentence is when one event or action meet another action and produce a certain moment that will happen, which mean here conditions plus result. Simply put, it's a if-then sentences with the second portion the result dependent on the first part of the condition. So meaning here a conditional is when if sentence here is the conditions, action, any event, any moment that will result into another action. So let's take a look at the example to get a better understanding. So I have some examples here. For example, if I have time, I will finish that later. So if I have time here, I've marked that the red one is the conditions, while the green one is the result. So the condition here, if I have time, then the result will be I will finish that letter. And then the third one, look at the third one. Nobody will notice if you make a mistake. So if you can see here, nobody will notice is the result, while if you make a mistake is the condition. So the result could also be in the front when making the sentences, while the conditions could also be at the back. So if you see here, nobody will notice is the result of uh, the conditions of if you make a mistake, which mean that in the introduction that I said, the result is dependent on the conditions. So here, why are conditionals important in daily life? Or why is it important that we use these sentences? So conditionals help us express real and imaginary situations. So we can use it to express our decisions, regrets, hopes, fears, and advice, and actually a lot more. So it's how we imagine certain event that could happen. We want to express what if we do this, then we got this. What if I don't do this, and what if I don't get that? So, for example, say, if I have time, I will go to the gym. This is a decisions type of sentence of conditional. So if I have a lot of time, then I will go to the gym. It's an imaginal sentence as well. And if I had studied harder, I would have passed. This is a regret sentence because the individual here doesn't pass the exam because of the consequences of not studying harder. So then he or she expressed themselves, if I had studied harder, I would have passed. And then the third one here, if I were famous, I travel the world. So this is like a hopes or a dream type of sentences, which can also be you can use this to express it. So let's move on. So there's five types of conditionals. So the first one is zero conditional. It's about a general truth, facts, or habitual actions. Pretty simple. And the second one is first conditional, is to convey future outcomes or effects of a possible condition. And then the second conditional convey to fictional or hypothetical occurrences in present or future and their possible results. The third conditional is used to express an imagined different outcome in the past, the result, based on a past condition that did not happen. And the last one, the mixed conditional, is a bit special. It combines components of the second and the third to connect an unreal former condition to a current outcome. So since this looks a bit too general, so let's take a look one by one. So first, we have the zero conditional. This conditional expresses about the general truth, facts, or habitual actions, a habit. They are formed using if or when in certain sentences, followed by a simple present verb in the conditional clause, and another simple present verb in the main clause, which is the results. So the formula here is pretty simple: if plus present simple, and then present simple for the results, because this is a fact that will never change, and then it's a habitual actions, which is habits or routines. For example, there, if I drink too much coffee, I can't sleep at night, which is a fact. And then ice melts if you heat it, which is also a fact. And then when the sun goes down, it gets dark, which is a fact. So this is just a present simple or zero conditional. For the first conditional, intended to convey likely future outcomes or effects of a possible conditions. It's a real life situation that could happen, or possibilities that could happen. So they are formed using the present simple tense in the if clause, the condition, and the future simple will plus base verb in the main clause, the result. So the formula here, as you can see, if plus present simple and then the conditional will plus base verb for the results. Examples: if I study today, I'll go to the party tonight. And then if I have enough money, I buy some new shoes. Then we have the second conditional, which is used to convey fictional or hypothetical occurrences in the present or future and their possible results. It's more like an imagination in a situation which is unlikely to happen. Okay, and then the formula here is if plus past simple, and then the for the result is would or would not plus base form of verb. For example, if I had wings, I would fly. Had is the past simple here, and then we put the modal would and the base form of a verb fly. No ing, no ies, no ed. So yeah, this is the second conditional, which is an imagination of a situation that unlikely to happen. And then we have the third conditional, which is to express and imagine different outcome in the past, the result based on the past condition that did not happen. A condition. It's also talk about regret or criticism, which is commonly used in the third conditional. So the formula here is if plus past perfect, and the conditional would have plus past participle. For example, if I had studied is a past perfect, I would have passed the exam. So would have passed is a past participle. And then if she had gone, she had gone, she had gone to university, she would have become a teacher. Next one we have the mixed conditional. So it's a special one. It combines components of the second and third conditionals to connect an unreal formal condition to a current outcome. More simple put is just a scenario where a past event didn't happen and that has a current impact. With current impact meaning the present, the now. So we have two formula, past condition or present. If was past perfect, and then the conditional, and then the model would was infinitive, and then we have the present conditional past. If plus past simple, the model would have, and then past participle. So, for example, if she wasn't afraid of flying, she wouldn't have traveled by boat. So this is um, the past simple one. If she was not okay afraid of flying, she would not have traveled by boat. And then I've been able to translate the letter if my Italian was better. And there also, if I was a good cook, I invited them to lunch. Okay, now this is some important rules to remember for conditionals. Looking at the table right here that I got from Grammarly, is that um, this is simple formulas, simple facts that you can memorize so that you can use conditional sentence better. And then there's also do not use will word in if clause. This is just a additional tips when you're using conditional sentences. You will not put any will, would, or any model in the if clause, which is in the condition. Okay, now let's test our understanding a bit with these little exercises. So I've put some hints of every conditionals that we have covered. So if people eat too much sugar, they wait. So zero is a habit to or effects. So this sounds like fact sentences. And then the next one, if it rains tomorrow, we the picnic. So first conditional is a possibilities that could happen. So if it rains, what would you do? Then if I were a bird, I to Paris. Second conditional is most is an imagination. It's imaginated situation. And then if they had left early, they third conditional, which usually express regrets. And then if I had taken the job, I the manager now. This is a mixed conditional. So looking at the answer here, if people eat too much sugar, they gain weight. If it rains tomorrow, we will cancel the picnic. If I were a bird, I would fly to Paris. If they had left earlier, they would not have missed the train. If I had taken the job, I would be a manager now. So it's also important that we know each of the structure of the conditionals. In conclusion, conditional have us talked about real and imaginary situation that in everyday communications also giving advice, expressing regrets, making decision, dreaming big, just to talk to people and make our dreams more clearer. And remember there's five types. It's actually four types, but special one is conditionals of zero conditional, first conditional, second conditional, third conditional, and the base conditional. So I think that's all for me. Thank you very much and see you soon.